everybody. Good morning. How are you there this beautiful morning? My name's Christine and I will be your Google Digital Garage trainer for the morning. So what do you need to know? Well, first up, as I say, my name's Christine. I'm one of the trainers here on Google's free skills training program, the Google Digital Garage. Now, a little bit about me. I'm a marketeer by trade. I've been working in marketing since, well, before digital was even a thing. I've worked across some of the world's biggest companies, and more recently done a lot of work with SMEs, with charities, with startups, with entrepreneurs, with founders, with businesses just starting up around a kitchen table. I've been part of Google's Digital Garage since 2015, and I'm delighted to bring you this session this morning. Alongside me today, I have the wonderful Jo. Now, Jo is also one of our Google Digital Garage coaches, and her role today is to be moderating for us. Joanne, you'll find her in the chat right now. She will be interacting with you, answering some of your questions. You can tell you're speaking to Joanne and she's the moderator. She has a little blue spanner next to her name. Any issues, pop them in the chat. Any questions as we go through, we'll pause for questions as we go through. So do feel free to pop those questions in the chat. To do that, you're going to need to be signed in to your YouTube account. So do pop up to the right there. There'll be a little icon. You can sign up or sign in if you're not signed in already this morning. What else do you need to know? Well, this is just part of our Google Digital Garage broader offering. So we're running this virtual training as part of a broader package of webinars. We also have certificates and we have learning opportunities for you. So if you want to head to our website, you'll find that in the description below. You'll be able to see what else we have on offer to help your learning. Any trouble viewing the webinar, best thing to do is just to refresh the page. A little bit of turn it off and turn it back on again is something that's going to help. And you will be able to re-watch this webinar. Tons of information coming at you. So best thing to do is just to sit back and relax and take your notes as we go through this morning. Benefit from that live chat with Joanne. But don't forget that you will be able to click on the link that you used to get here this morning to get back to watch the presentation until about lunchtime tomorrow. So you've got a little bit of time to reflect on the session. So what we're going to do today is help you get to grips with your visibility on Google. We'll look at, first of all, and think about, well, actually what's going on? What's going on out in the world that is going to match with what people are looking for and how you might find yourself that audience on Google. Then we're going to look at how you can physically, actually, practically go about building up your presence on Google Search and on Google Maps. So when people are looking for a business like yours, you have a chance of appearing. And then we're going to look at some of the tools that will help you to really optimize that visibility. How are we going to take that upper level and make sure that you are being seen to the best effect to the right people? Now, I mentioned we've got several ways of helping you out. We're also starting to go back to face-to-face, but we currently have an amazing offer. So I really do hope you find the webinar helpful today. But I wanted to let you know that if you work for a small business or for a charity and you're based here in the UK, you can now sign up for a free one-to-one mentoring session from Google. I say these sessions are completely free, and they can help you one-to-one on a range of digital skills. So you might need support building your strategy. You might want to take stock and do some of the actions we talk about today, and then think, well, what's next? Whatever your digital questions, do feel free to head over to g.co/UK mentoring and request a session that'll be one-to-one with one of our mentors. So why are we looking at this topic today? Why might a business want to get itself found on Google? Well, the main reason is that customers are using search engines. Customers are using search engines like Google to find new businesses. 3/4 of online customers, so people who are online, turn to a search engine when they need to find a business. Okay, and really interesting is that it's not just people sitting working at a laptop looking for business purposes. When we are out and about, and we have our mobiles with us, we want to know what's going on around us. And one thing that the last 2 years of the pandemic, one of the strong trends we noticed was that actually local mobile searches, 82% of smartphone users report that they routinely conduct local mobile searches. So these are things near me, things in my area. And through that pandemic period, we've noticed that that's almost increasing because human behavior has wanted to know what's around them, what's nearby. And those skills that we've learned over the last 2 years, we think are things that are going to carry us through into the future, where as things change in whatever ways they're going to change next. So what I want you to do is start off, we're going to start by taking a step back and a little bit of a step up. And all the businesses I work with, I recommend that they do this fairly regularly. I want you to think like a customer, okay? And the great thing is we are all customers. If we're in that 82% of people who do look for local businesses on their smartphone, we are all customers, some of us several times a day. So next time you're surfing the web, you're not just surfing the web. You're actually doing some customer research. I want you to become a student of search and think about the processes that go into being found. Because when one customer is searching, a business is being found. So think about it right now. If you were a person with who was hungry, fancies some pizza, how would you go about making that happen? So many of us would take out our smartphones. Let Joanne know. Tell Joanne how you would go about fixing this problem. The problem is you're hungry. The answer is, well, so many of us will take out our phones and search. Okay, so think about that for me. If you are hungry, you want to find some pizza, how would you go about it? Let Jo know. She will pop it. She's going to send messages over to me and let me know what you're thinking about. Because this is something we do every single day. And lots of us will. Some people take out their phones. Some people, if I'm already sitting working on my computer, I might look, but I would never do work, things that weren't work when I was sitting at my computer meant to be working. So every time you do this search, I want you to break down into the steps that you take. So with this one, it was looking for pizza. I might look for pizza near me. I might look for pizza restaurant near me. I might look for Italian restaurant in my area. I might know the name of the restaurant I want and type that in. Do I want somebody that delivers? Do I want somewhere I can go and sit in? There are lots of ways to fix the problem of I'm hungry and I really fancy a pizza. It's not long after 9 o'clock in the morning. My hope would be that right now, I wouldn't want a pizza for right now, but maybe I'm thinking about where we could go for lunch, where we could go in the evening. What factors are there? So think about how you break down those steps. Do you take out a phone and open up a search window? Do you want something near to me? So you open up your Maps app and search within the map itself. Okay. And once you're presented, and you can do this along with me, as I say, at the beginning, we should really let people know that they are going to feel hungry by the end of our sessions, because we do talk about food rather a lot. But what are those factors that when you look at the myriad of businesses out there, what are the factors that help you decide which one you are going to choose? Okay. So the device of choice for lots of people when they're doing this is the phone, the smartphone, because we're out and about. It's really quick and easy and immediate to do it. And in a lot of cases, we are going to look for businesses that are close to us, are local to us, who can fulfill that need right now. So that being said, as a business, when those questions are being asked, I want us to work out how we can have the best chance of being seen. Because the process of searching from a customer point of view is just that. It's a multi-step process. Now, we start here that the search journey starts with the search. I would actually suggest that the search journey starts in the real world. There's a stimulus. Something happens. My tummy rumbles. Friend says, oh, let's go for pizza tonight. I feel, I realise that I've got absolutely nothing in the house to cook. So there's a stimulus. Something happens in the real world to a people who are my types of people. Something happens in that real world, stimulus. What so many of us do now is we take out this phone and we'll open up either the internet, we'll open up a maps app, some of us might even ask it, hey Siri, Google, tell me where. And they'll use voice search to make that search. Okay. Show me the top 10 pizzas in Chiswick. All right. So those searches happen. And I like to think of search as a lot of questions. We are seeking, human beings are questioning, seeking creatures. We are looking for answers all the time. Okay. So after we make that search and our search engine pulls together some results for us, we then look at those results and we make a decision. And then there's an action. Lots of factors we'll talk about as how that decision, how we can influence that decision-making process. Okay. And then there's an engagement. And the thing with search, which is probably different to any other digital marketing channel, and if you join me for digital marketing strategy, I talk about this a lot, but there's something kind of, there's a real strong intent with search. I search for something because I'm ready to take an action. There's been a stimulus and I'm looking. So with search, there's a very short time in a lot of cases from make that search, take that action. So when we're measuring it as marketeers, you can actually really see that how searching, being found, leads to that engagement, leads to those actions being taken. So it's really, really important. So search is important because search is how customers and people find businesses. Search is how humans find things. Okay, so it's really important to businesses because it's where their customers are and it's what their customers are doing. Okay, so how does search actually work? We've been together now almost 15 minutes, my friends, and you will probably have realized already that they do not trust me with the algorithm. All right, but what we do have is this fantastic little video directly from Google themselves, which is just going to take me a second. I'm going to get it up here. I'll ask Joe, we can pop the link in so you can watch it yourself later as well. But I am going to let you watch this video just right now. Okay, so it sounds like we're not getting the sound. I'm going to try one more time. If you'll bear with me. Let's see if I take me off. Okay, so really sorry about the sound on that. Apparently we did lose that and I didn't manage to get it back. I'm so sorry about that. I know Joe has popped the link into the chat for you, so you can go back and watch that. And we did have the captions running, so hopefully you got some of the idea of it. What I want you to really take away from that video, if you could, if you take nothing else, is it's a very complex process going on very quickly behind the scenes. But the things that don't work are when people try and fool the algorithm. You learn lots about an algorithm and somebody say, oh, I've got this great trick you can use. Doesn't work. The search engines stay ahead of those tricks. So even if it works momentarily, after a few months, it won't. Okay, so the best thing, and websites, I've worked on websites since not very long after Google actually went online, is a frightening thought. But the things that have worked since the beginning is good quality, really relevant answers to those questions. Which leads us on to, okay, well, what's going on then? If we can take a step away from the technical side for a minute, are actual people searching for our kinds of products and services online? Now, being how many people are doing searches, the answer is probably, well, yes, probably. But we need a better answer than yes, probably. Okay, so not just are customers searching for your products and services online, but really importantly, how? What are they saying? How are they going about it? Now, there are a few tools that we can take a look at. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite tools. Okay, so this is called Google Trends. And Google Trends is, well, it's a searchable database of search. Back in, I think it was about 2004. Somebody somewhere, some lovable nerd in Google decided, wouldn't it be interesting if we could make it available for people to know what people were searching about, what people are interested in? Because I said there's about that real immediacy about search. I think up something, I take out my phone, I search for it, I get my answers. If you think about social media, it's all about how shiny and wonderful everything is in people's lives. Search tells us what's really going on. Okay, so we ask our search engine, we ask the internet, we ask our phones that we trust, our deepest, darkest questions, you know. How do I fix that tap? How do I, you know, make ends meet this month? All the things that we wouldn't talk about necessarily. What's really going on in our lives? We take out our phones, we search for it, and we're looking for answers. So thinking about that searching, seeking behavior, well, what are people looking for? Google Trends, since about 2004, as I said, has aggregated all the searches that are made. It has anonymized them, so you can't see what particular people have searched for in any way. All you can see is the kinds of shapes of the trend, of the search patterns. So it really is looking for trends. If it's ever a slow news day, and some journalists somewhere will go, oh, people in the UK are really interested, and they'll go and they'll see what people are searching for to see what's going on in the minds of the people. So take this, how does that actually work for a business then? Take this particular graph. Now, this graph is 5 years worth of data. It's from the United States, but what it's showing is plumbers near me. And this is a really interesting, before 2015, end of 2015, beginning of 2016, not many people were looking for plumbers near me. Now, I'm sure they were looking for plumbers, but they weren't looking for plumbers near me. And then since then, that search has increased significantly. So that overall trend is, well, nobody was looking before 2015, now they are, 2016. It's smartphones again. It's that technology, the near me. Well, before we had location services on our phones, and before we had lots of smartphones in existence, we wouldn't have done a near me search. We would have had to specify the area we were in. What you can also see on this, I find it's really interesting, is you've got 2 peaks a year. Think about lives. Think about, when do people in general need a plumber? And this shows, and if we go into the data a bit deeper, I would be able to show you that there are 2 peaks a year. One is kind of around autumn time, the end of summer when the temperatures drop, people en masse put their heating on, and a significant portion of the real humans in that behaviour realise, well, their heating doesn't work. So they have to call a plumber, and they want a plumber who's close to them. And the second one moves a little bit about and goes up and down in severity. Well, that's the harsh winters. And every time there's a big frost and there's then a big thaw, what happens? Pipes burst. And people want a plumber to come and fix it. So by knowing and seeing what words people are searching for, you can see if they're looking for tools like those. This is a great one to start expanding and looking at the words people are thinking about. As you scroll down the page, it gives you hints of other words that might be relevant to you. A bit like a people like you also bought, but in terms of the words and terms people are looking at. So take a look, see if there's any seasonality. You can go out to 5 years or 10, you can go out to a really long period of time, or you can go right in to a day-by-day trend. See what works for you. Have a little play. It's at google.com/trends, and it's great to help you. What I would say is the tool needs a big enough volume of data. So if you're really, really specific with your search term you're looking for, you might not get any results at all, because it will only give results when there is enough data for it to make a good decision. All right, I'm just going to check in with Joanne. Here we go. How do you use the right keyword search, Tan? That is a question we're going to be talking a lot about. Joanne will give you some hints as we go through. But yes, we are going to come to that. And hopefully, Tan, we're going to get that answer for you as we go. All righty, that's the main question. Do get those questions in. You've got 2 of us here ready and willing to help you. So do pop any questions in as we go. Because we're going to look now at some practicalities of how you can go about. We know the theory. We know what's going on in our customers' lives. Well, how do we actually go about building that presence? All right, so let's take a look at the search engine. Now, we're going to use Google as an example, but as we understand it, most search engines basically work in the same kind of way. Somebody asks a question, they type in their query into the top of the search bar, then they get some results, all right, and we'll see different kinds of results. So here we might have some ads. These are shopping ads, where if we're looking for a specific product, we might get some product options coming up. Here we've got clearly marked the word ad. We've got some text ads. And any paid for advertising content is always marked as such. So the shopping ads are marked up sponsored. The text ads have the word ad next to them. Very important that that's always shown. And then below are the organic search results. We'll talk a lot about ads and things as we go through. What I will say is just here and now, you cannot get yourself into those ad spots if you aren't a good answer to the question being asked. All right. And the other thing we have here, this is the knowledge panel. Depending on what you search for, your search engine results page is going to change. So here, the search term is Stacia's Bakery. So it's offering me some bakery products in the shopping ads. And it's also giving me a business listing of a business that's called Stacia's Bakery. If I were to search for the town of Hemel Hempstead, I would get probably the things I would get would be a map of Hemel Hempstead, or I might get a fact file about the town of Hemel Hempstead. Depending on what you search for, it gives you different results in your search. Be a student of search. Every time you search, just take a pause. Look at what it's feeding you back and understand what it is in your search intent that has shown you these results. And then think, okay, well, how can I apply that to my business? So 3 areas that we're going to take a look at today that you can be found on Google. We've got the organic search, which is websites that show up in the search engine results and are not paid ads. Okay, we're still looking at text results. But they are matched by those algorithms to be a really good answer to the question being asked. Then we've got the business listing, which is a local business's online portfolio. I'm going to show you how to get your information directly into the world's biggest search engine. And there is no doubt that taking control of your own little corner of the search engine results can really help so many local businesses. And then, of course, there's paid search. So paid search advertising, it's a marketing method where you pay if somebody clicks on your ad, okay? So you bid to get yourself seen, but you cannot buy your way in without having a good answer to the question. And the better your answer to the question, actually what tends to happen is the lower you can expect to pay for your bids. So I want you to think about doing the organic stuff first, all right? So to do that, to get yourself found in those organic search listings, we're going to look at a process called search engine optimization, or SEO. All right. And this is all about, it's the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of traffic to your website through those organic search engine results. First things first, to be looking at true search engine optimization, you have to have a website to send your searchers to. Okay, so if you have a website, I would hope that you're having a look at making yourself more findable, which is what search engine optimization is all about. Now, we talked about in that video, you can go back and watch the video which talks about all these different signals and all the indexing process. One thing that I think that should actually be highlighted, probably in bright red in this, is that search engine optimization is a practice. This isn't a task you do once. This isn't about making a list of keywords and sprinkling through the website and going off and having a cup of tea. This is an ongoing, day-by-day, repeating process. As we learn something, how does that affect what we do? Okay, but it's all about making it's easy for the right people to find you. All right. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do, and this comes into Tan's question, is you have to think about the words that people are using. This is keywords. And when I say keywords, I'm thinking words and phrases that people might use when they search for a business like yours. So how do I go about keyword research? I always start with what I know. And I move out from there. So I would, if I was doing keyword research, I'd be using a big blank wall and some post-it notes, or a whiteboard and big pens. I think big paper for big ideas, really. And I want to make this visual, and I want to get the team thinking about it. But I don't just want to think about what we say. I want to be listening in. Anytime I meet a customer and they talk about our products or services, listen to the way that they speak about them. Did an experiment at a face-to-face event to get people to think about not just using the language that they use to describe their products and services. You know the correct terms to use for your products and services because you live in that world all the time. But does everybody else know the right words to use, or would they describe it in a different way? How would they phrase the questions to find your business or service? And it's that's the real art to keyword research. It's not about churning out long lists of synonyms. It's about thinking, okay, how would people search for this? So your keyword research, you're looking for things like, are there different words that people use to describe the same thing? We did this experiment with, I held up a small round individual portion of bread. And I asked people what they would call it. And in the room, we had people from all over the UK, and we got probably about 12 or 15 different words. Was it a roll, a bun, a bat, a tea cake, a stotty, a cob? There were all of these different words that people use to describe what is, in essence, the exact same thing. So think about how different people might describe what you're looking at. Okay. Then think about how you can be interesting to the people who are searching for those things. All right, so you've got to be a good answer. So your keywords, if somebody's searching for how to fix a tap, have an article that talks about fixing taps and how to go about doing it. Okay, high quality, useful content. And you can use your search engine optimization, keyword research principles whenever you're writing anywhere on the web. Okay. But when we're doing it specifically to be optimized in the search engines, make sure you then do the technical things that make your web pages search friendly. Okay. So when I'm thinking about words, user intent's really important. Don't just write about the technical right way of writing those questions. So take a pair of trainers. If I'm selling a pair of trainers, I'm a local shop that has trainers in mind. If somebody searches for trainers, they're probably going to find the big brands, okay? The huge, shiny brand pages of these amazing, wonderful companies, which is fine, but it's not us. But it's also fine. We are never going to get found for that one-word keyword search trainers. It's realistically, without huge budgets, it's never going to happen. Your likes of Adidas and Nike and New Balance and whoever else are all going to be fighting for that particular keyword. Leave them to it, because our customers are smart. If I put in the word trainers, well, yes, I understand there are all these shiny brands, but what I actually want to buy is trainers in Hemel Hempstead, or I want to buy, a particular brand or a particular type, or where to buy. Okay, so this kind of phrasing comes in of questions, and we make those search phrases longer because that's what we do. We iterate our search. So think about how that might happen. If somebody was looking for a trainer who was a personal trainer, they might start with the word trainer, then realize, oh, that's bringing me up shoes, so I'm going to search for personal trainers. That one word can have lots of different results. And human behavior says we iterate those searches even without thinking about it, which is why I want you to break into your thought processes as you're searching every day. So think about the intent. Now we've got two types of keywords, really. We've got short keywords. A short keyword is up to 3 words. And then we have long keywords. Long keywords, so keywords, badly named, they're words and phrases. Okay, so think about them as the question. Short keywords, likely to have more competition when you're trying to be found, because the fewer words people put in, the more likely it is to be relevant for lots of different places. So when you think into those longer phrases, you come into what we call the long tail. So lots of people will search for trainers, far fewer people, it's like a graph, will search for durable shoes for nurses. But if the trainers you have are kind of plain and they have a good fat sole and lots of, that one pair of shoes, that one pair of trainers might be good for nurses, for people who are on their feet all day, for running with flat feet, for having plantar fasciitis, that all of these different reasons a real customer, that individual, is only looking for that one pair. So the more interest you can build around it, the more specific you can be as a smaller business, is really going to help you show the search volume you get will be lower on those longer tail keywords, but how specific it is, how great the content you have for that one person can be a lot higher, which makes that sale much more likely. Okay. So think about the life going on. Remember that stimulus before the search even happens. What's going on in the life of the person who is looking for your business or your products or your services? In terms of the technical side, amazing tool called Google Search Console. If you have a website, one of the immediate actions is to go and check out your Search Console. All right. If you've built the website yourself and you've added it, or if you've had somebody build it, hopefully this will already exist. If it doesn't, head to g.co/search console and create an account. Get yourself, the search engine tools working for you. It used to be called Webmaster Tools, okay, and it's now called the Google Search Console. It will show you lots of different things. You can run reports. You can see how you're being searched for, when you're being searched for, what words you are being shown in the results. As an impression, people will see you, but they're not actually clicking through to you. So you can then start to do work about improving how you are being seen. You can also do things about, which keywords are working for you. You can look at how quickly your site loads. It will give you technical help to improve your website to get yourself better found. And you can also, if you make some changes, you say, right, people are searching for this, but I'm not coming up so well. Let's write an interesting article and tag it up all nicely and make it all neat and tidy, do all my meta tags and my descriptions and all of the on the page stuff. You can then raise a little flag, add your page to index, let Google know that you've made some changes, and it will send that program to come and crawl your website and index you. You can get yourself re-indexed every time you make a change, rather than waiting for the time it takes for the index spider crawly things to make their way around the web. Okay, so sign up for Google Search Console if you haven't already is kind of the takeaway from that one. Now, local search engine optimization, local SEO, is about increasing search visibility for businesses that serve their communities, ideally face-to-face. And whether that face-to-face is having a premises and bringing people to it, or whether in the case of like a plumber, it's going out to those people in the area that you serve. All right. Local directory is a great way to get found. And for local search engine optimization, you don't have to have your own website. All right, so this is a great tool to have a really good presence directly in those search engine results if you have a website or not. So we're going to do a quick talk about this particular tool, getting yourself found in Google Search and Google Maps and doing local search engine optimization. We have a fuller webinar on just these topics, which is called Find Customers with Google Maps. So if you think local SEO is what you want to do, then get yourself along, go back to our website and book yourself on for Find Customers with Google Maps. Because what we're doing is we're getting that pin on the map, or when that knowledge card panel on the side, we are going to tell the world's biggest search engine directly about your local business. And the tool that it used to be called Google My Business. They actually now call it the Google Business Profile. And it used up till, there is still an app for it. They've made it even easier now. If you can find your own business in Google search, it will say, do you own this business? Claim this business. All right. So you can claim the business, prove your ownership, and then start managing that business right there and then in the search results in the map results. Okay, so how you can go about it, head over to search for Google Business Profile or go to business.google.com, add your business in or select it if it exists, pop in some information, and you'll have to verify that you own. So you can't just claim any old business. You need to verify that you do have ownership of that business. Once you do that, you basically need to be telling the world's biggest search engine all about yourself. Do you remember when we looked at pizzas and we thought, well, what might great pictures or reviews or what else might help us? Opening times, menus, any kind of information that people are providing directly in those search results. We can be looking at showing people, when are we open? Where exactly are we located? What area do we serve? How far away do you have to be? And we'll come and do our plumbing or build a bridge or whatever it is you want us to do. Okay, so head to google.com/business if you don't have your Google Business Profile already. And as I say, join us for that webinar as well. Find customers with Google Maps. So the final area of getting yourself found in those search listings is search engine marketing, or SEM. And that's using paid advertising to ensure that your business's products or services are visible in the search engine results pages. So you only pay when somebody clicks is the main thing to think about. So you are paying for results. So what's really important is that if you are paying for traffic, you make sure that your website is ready to receive and convert that traffic. Search engine marketing works really well when there is a short distance between somebody thinking up something I want, making the search, seeing the results, and hitting the button to buy. And you want to be able to track all those things. So make sure you've got your Google Analytics track on your website ready to go tracking these things. So in terms of ads, search ads, Google Ads is Google's advertising platform. You can create their search ads, display ads, YouTube ads, and combinations and smart campaigns. There are lots of tools that are going to help you make the best use of your ad spend. And it's an online auction. It's not just who pays the most gets seen, though. that relevancy, that having of great content is going to help you to reduce to even get yourself into the bidding process. You've got to have, it's called a quality score. The words that you're bidding for, you have to show you a good answer. So I always advise businesses that they start with optimization. Work out what the keywords people are looking for, then make sure that you have some great quality content. Make sure your website is ready to receive the traffic and you can track how many people are buying. So you can say, I spent this much on ads and it generated this much in sales, or this much in inquiries. And make sure you're not throwing rubbish in. Make sure you're getting quality inquiries. These are all the things you're going to, as a business, evaluate whether that spend was useful to you. Okay, how do you go about doing it? Well, you head over to Google Ads and create an account if you don't have one already. You select the keywords you want to be seen for, and that's where it's different, right? With search engine optimization, you're optimizing, you're writing nice things. It's a lot more direct with search engine ads. You basically say, this is what I want. This is what I want to be seen for. This is what I'm prepared to bid for. This is my ad that I want to be shown. All right, so there is more control there, okay? But it's down to you to write the good ads. If you want to go more in depth into search ads, join us for Get Started with Digital Advertising, where we cover a range of different advertising options, but search is definitely one of them. But the best thing to make sure is that your website is ready to receive that extra traffic, or no amount of spending is going to lead to any kind of increase in business for you. Okay, I can see from Joe that we've got no questions that we need answering right now. Do feel free. We've got one more question break coming up in about 10 minutes. So do feel free to get those last questions into Joanne. Whereas right now, I'm going to talk about some ways you can go about boosting that presence. We've got some great tools and some tips for you on how to, once you've done the basics, take that up a level. Okay. So let's take a look. So we've spoken a lot about mobile and different kinds of devices. We're thinking about people's lives. And I want you to think about, in your life, if you are out and about and you look for something on your mobile, if you find a website and you click on it and it takes a long time to load, what do you actually do? The majority of us are going to hit back. What if I go to the website and it's on the mobile, and when I try and click, I can't make my way around. The navigation isn't right, or everything's too big for the screen, or there are lots of, when somebody takes a website that they've built on their big computer and they just expect it to go straight to a mobile phone to be used, or they don't even think about people might be on a mobile phone, that's when people tend to have problems. So great thing to do, immediate action. And I would do this probably once a month, once every couple of months. Head over to g.co/test my site. And what that's going to do is it's going to look at how well your website performs on mobile. Okay, making sure it's performing, it's quick, making sure it's usable, that people can click into the fields, can see the, you're not having to sideways scroll the page. All right. Most of our desktop sites are built in a horizontal kind of landscape view, but most of us use our mobile internet in a portrait view. So it's down to making sure your website has been resized and created with that experience in mind. Hopefully your web builders will have done it for you, but head over to g.co/test my site and it will give you practical tips to improve how you are seen on a mobile. There's also reports within Google Search Console that will take a look at your website and help you with things like speed. And they will all give you practical things you can do to improve. They're not just going to give you a score and leave you to it. Now, if you are looking at that Google Business Profile listing, and once you've claimed it, and once you've verified that you own the business, the next thing I want you to think about doing is making that listing more appealing. Okay, so think about, when I look for a business, the kind of information I want to see. So details wise, can I contact them? Within the Google Business Profile, you can see different kinds of links. And it depends on the kind of business you are. Sometimes there's a click to call button. What a great experience for a customer and for a business. If I search for you, I find you, I hit the call button, and your phone rings to book that job. We don't have to sell online to make the best of the opportunities that the internet can offer us. Or maybe people don't want to click the phone, or maybe you don't want your phone number out there on the internet, or maybe it's just better all round to have messaging, or maybe you want both. So you can send message, you can have a turn on messaging option where people can message you directly from your search results, visit your website, book an appointment straight there and then. So edit your details, make sure you're contactable, make sure your pin's in the right place if you have a physical business. Make sure you've set that service area if you do have a business that goes out to people. Then you'll be boosted in the area where it's right for you to be boosted, and you'll be, you won't be boosted. You won't get calls and traffic and direction requests from people who aren't in the area you can travel to. Okay. People can write reviews on Google. Don't be scared of reviews. Reviews are great. People pay thousands for focus groups to tell them what people think. Reviews are given to you for free. And even the ones that aren't always glowing, you can learn such a lot from them, and you can respond to them, and you can say, this is what we're going to do better. Thank you for that great review. We love the fact, and it can really bind those people into you. And you're also giving with reviews, you're telling the rest of the world, the next customer, how you respond if things go well and if things go wrong. A real piece of who you are. Be human on there. If you want to know more about reviews and you're worried about responding to them, or you just want to brush up on those skills, join us for Writing for Social Media, where we do talk about how to go about responding in times when things haven't necessarily gone all right. And the last point, ad managers. Well, what does that mean? And this I would suggest for any business owner who is using sometimes other people to do the work. I would always want you to own your business assets. So own your web sign-in details, own your Google business profile details, and then tell other people, add those as managers so they can run it for you. Because when those people move on, as they often will, you want to be able to get the access back. So I always want you to have the keys to any of the tools you're using. And the Google Business Profile is a great one. Super simple to add a manager to that. You can then upgrade if you wanted to. I said you don't to use be found in local search. You don't have to have your own website. But once you've created all that lovely information in your Google Business Profile, you might want to upgrade it to a standalone website that you can then be found on. It's a very, very simple website because it's using a very, very simple templated approach. But if you're not ready yet to have an all singing or dancing website, but you want to have something on your business card where people can go and check you out if they want, then take a look at that. It's the Google Business. When you log into your Google Business Profile, it's about 3/4 of the way down on the website menu, the navigation, it says website. You can either add your website that already exists there, or you might want to use it to build your own. So checklist, things to make sure you've got your opening hours on there. Make sure you're adding in photos to give people real flavour. And don't just add your photos all today because Christine told you to. Drip them in. Add a couple of photos a month, every month. Look after your listing, making sure, don't just do it once. It's a practice. This isn't a task you do once and then file it away and forget about it. I want you to regularly check back. Think like a customer. What do they want to see? Haven't posted a picture for a while. Haven't posted any updates. Try and every month or so, take some time to keep that fresh, okay? And I mentioned posts. You can post on your business to new products, an event coming up. Tell them a little bit more about your business. Add a photo. Your posts are a bit like social media posts, but there again, thankfully, you don't need to be updating them as regularly as your social media. Once a fortnight, once a month, get into the habit of posting something just to remind everybody that you're still fresh, and use your keywords. You are telling the world's biggest search engine all about you and your business. So use those keywords. Your SEO work, your search work is not just for your website. You can use those words and phrases anywhere on the web that you are writing. So your social media pages, your Google business profile as well. And how do you know if what you're doing is working? Okay, wherever you are, working on the internet, whether it's social media, whether it's your website, whether it's the Google business profile, I want you to be thinking about measuring. Okay, within the screenshot we've got here is actually directly from the Google business profile. And you remember I said that great user experience where somebody searches, sees your listing, and clicks to call you? That can be measured. How many, you might think that you've done some work and you're getting a few more calls through, but how many of them have seen your number in the window or been passed a business card? And how many have searched for you, found you, and clicked from the listing? With the Google business profile, if you hit the Insights tab, which is on that menu as well, you'll be able to see how many calls you had, how many times people looked at your photos, how many times you've been searched for. And when people have searched for you, how many of them found you by knowing your name? That is, and in fact, this is what this is showing us here. How customers search for my business. A blue is a discovery search and green is a direct search. A direct search means they knew your name and they searched for you. They found your business profile and then they took an action, hopefully. With the discovery, it's the people who found your business profile by searching for the category. So cafe near me, pizza near me, plumber near me. That category search, and then they looked and they saw your listing. You got yourself in front of those near me searches or those area searches or those location searches, because it's so smart now. I don't need, if I put in plumbers to fix burst pipe, it's going to bring up those local ones first because it understands that that's probably what I want. So check out the insights and see how well you're doing. Okay, we're nearly at an end, so I can see there's no particular questions coming up through now. So that's all fine. Hopefully Joanne's been able to answer your questions as we've gone through, or maybe I just always take it that means that I've explained everything so completely that you've been able to understand what you need from it. So what we're going to do is I want you, final act on your part is to have a quick think about what you are going to do differently because of today. And I want you to make that into a statement. And because the more we tell the universe what we're going to do, the more likely we are to follow that through. And if you want us to be your accountability buddies, our team that we've gathered here today, not just myself and Joe, but the rest of the gang watching, tell us in the chat, what are you going to do differently? What are your next steps? It's too easy now. It's 10 o'clock. We've been talking about food all morning. Go off and have a little bit of, second breakfast. But pop it in the chat. Make a decision right now that's going to take you through to what you've got to say. One of those things might be if you are based here in the UK, and you work for a small business, for a startup, you're an entrepreneur, you've got that germ of a business idea ready to go. So if you're small, or you might have a more established business up and running that you want some help with, or you might be a charity, you can sign up for a free Google mentoring session. Okay, so it's a chance to spend time one-to-one for an hour with a Google mentor who will walk you through any of the topics we've discussed today, or take you on to your next steps on any of those digital topics. Other than that, I've got to wrap up here because we're just about coming up to the end of our time together. Hope it's been a useful dive into how to get yourself visible on Google. Don't forget, if you want to do more with the local search, join us for Find Customers with Google Maps. If you want to do more about the data side, we have a Get Started with Analytics webinar that might be great for you to attend. And otherwise, if you want to look into the advertising, it was Get Started with Digital Advertising. So many things on our website for you to take a look at what you want to learn next. So we have those Google Digital Garage webinars coming up in different subjects. Carry on your learning online in your own time. On the Google Digital Garage website, there's more online training courses you can available to you 24/7. Feedback, links on the screen if you want to hit us up on #Digital Garage on your socials, talk about the sessions. We love to hear what you've got to say. Otherwise, thanks to Joanne for being amazing and to Amy, who works with us behind the scenes. Thank you for joining us today. We all look forward to welcoming you back to another Google Digital Garage training session sometime soon. Have a lovely rest of your day.